He didn't even look nervous when he said it. We were standing in the kitchen I designed, the marble island I chose, the pendant lights I installed with my own contractor. "You'll need to move out by the end of the month," he said, scrolling through his phone like he was ordering takeout. "I'm giving the house to my brother and Ava. They need it more than we do." I remember staring at him, waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one. He'd already told them. Already promised it. Already made me homeless in my own home. I set my coffee down carefully. Precision matters when you're deciding someone's fate. "Do you even know who owns this house?" I asked. He smirked. That lazy, overconfident smirk I once mistook for charm. "Don't start," he said. I didn't. Not yet. When we first married, he called me his miracle. I was the stable one, the one with the credit score, the inheritance, the business instincts. He had dreams. I had execution. The house was my father's final gift to me. He left it solely in my name before he passed. I renovated it after the wedding. Told my husband it was ours. I believed in unity back then. Shared spaces. Shared futures. He never once asked to see the deed. He never once contributed to the mortgage. But he loved playing host. Loved inviting his brother over. Loved talking about our investment. And I loved believing we were building something together, until I noticed the late-night calls. The sudden financial withdrawals. The way he'd step outside to answer his phone. And then came the dinner. His brother. His sister-in-law. Wine flowing. Laughter too loud. "To new beginnings," my brother-in-law toasted, glancing at my husband. They shared a look. A silent transaction. That's when I knew. The confirmation came 3 days later. I came home early from a meeting. The front door was slightly open. Their voices drifted from the living room. "We can repaint the master," Ava said. "I hate the beige." "It'll be yours soon anyway," my husband replied. "She won't fight it." Won't fight it. I stood there, invisible in my own doorway, listening to my life being redistributed. Something inside me didn't break. It crystallized. Pain is loud at first. Then it becomes sharp, focused. I walked in as if I'd just arrived, smiled, kissed him on the cheek. That night I began planning. First, I pulled the deed from my private safe, my name alone, clean and clear. Then I contacted my attorney, quietly. I requested a full financial audit of our joint accounts. Turns out he'd been siphoning money for months. Small amounts, careful, not careful enough. I gathered screenshots, bank statements, phone records. While he slept beside me, I moved half of our liquid assets into a trust he couldn't access. Perfectly legal. The majority was from my business income anyway. Then I did something even more delicate. I scheduled a housewarming dinner for them. He thought I'd surrendered. He thought I'd accepted my exile. I even asked him what wine his brother preferred. The night arrived. The dining table glowed under candlelight. Ava walked through the house like she was already measuring curtains. My husband stood at the head of the table. Proud. Generous. King of a kingdom. That was never his. Midway through dessert, he cleared his throat. "As you all know," he began, reaching for his glass, "this house will soon belong to my brother and Ava. It's time for a new chapter." I let the silence stretch. Then I stood. "Before we toast," I said calmly, "I have a small clarification." 4 faces turned toward me. I placed the deed on the table. Paper against wood. Final. "This house," I said, "has always been legally mine." My husband blinked. Once. Twice. "What are you talking about?" he whispered. I slid copies of bank statements beside the deed. Highlighted withdrawals, transfers. "You committed financial fraud," I continued evenly. "From a joint account funded primarily by my business." His brother's face drained of color. Ava stopped breathing. "And since you felt comfortable making executive decisions about my property," I added, "I've made a few of my own." I pulled out one last envelope. Divorce papers. Filed that morning. "And effective immediately," I said. "All joint accounts are frozen pending investigation." The room felt smaller. He stood up abruptly. "You can't do this." I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw nothing but a man who had mistaken silence for weakness. I already did. The fallout was almost poetic. His brother and Ava left without finishing dessert. Within weeks, the financial investigation forced him out of his position at work. Fraud tends to do that. His friends distanced themselves when they realized the story wasn't what he'd told them. He tried to negotiate, beg, apologize. But apologies are cheap. When they come from someone who already packed you out of your own house in their mind. The divorce was swift, clean, clinical. He left with his clothes and a damaged reputation. Everything else stayed exactly where it belonged. With me. Sometimes I walk through the house at night, barefoot on polished floors. It's quiet again. Peaceful. The beige walls Ava hated are still standing. I kept them out of spite. He once told me I was too calm, too composed. He never understood. Calm isn't passive. It's calculated. He thought he was giving away my home. In the end, I gave him something far more valuable. Consequences. And unlike the house, those were entirely his.